Cowboys News, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Blog.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Cowboys and the latest on Deion Sanders. Is it serious? Cap mode time. Right. All right, man. So, like I said, still in recovery mode here at the house. So, make another video here about what's going on here on the latest Dallas Cowboys head coaching search. So, yesterday afternoon, in the evening, we found out that Jerry Jones reached out to Deion Sanders. All right. And Deion Sanders acknowledged this in a tweet. Kind of cryptic, really didn't say that he was not going to accept it. Some people are trying to read into it as far as like, oh, he said no, or maybe the door's open, who knows, whatever. But we do know that Adam Schefter reported, even with that quote, that the talks are going to continue. Okay, these discussions are going to continue. So we do know that, despite, some of these quotes from Deion, talking about Boulder, Colorado. You got to remember, Deion is in the thick of recruiting and this sorts of things, so he doesn't want to, burn bridges or completely, kill some of the recruiting in case things don't go, as planned for a potential job with the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So if that were to fall through, obviously he could lose his recruit. So it's a thin line right now. All right. The wording is going to be used carefully, but this is Jerry Jones' first choice. All right. Picked up the phone. Who was the first person he called? Deion Sanders. All right. So, a lot of former Cowboys are on board with this. In particular, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant. I mean, we got a lot of guys, but particularly Michael Irvin has been pounding the table for Deion Sanders to come in here. You know what I mean? Talk about a leader of men, a guy who can build programs. That's what you're looking for in your next head coach, someone that has built programs from the ground up. All right, Kellen Moore. And that's why I have a hard time at the end of the day believing that Kellen Moore would be the pick. You know what I mean? I think he still needs a lot more experience, man, before he gets in here. So, and do you see him as a leader of men? You know what I mean? Even myself, just when you look at somebody, how they look, and it is, you judge a book by its cover, unfortunately. But when you look at somebody, do you look at them and say, I can go to battle for this guy? Kellen Moore, I don't know, man. Looks kind of goofy. He looks more like a bookworm type of guy. Offensive coordinator might be his peak here. You know what I mean? As far as bringing the whole team together and, imposing, discipline and this sorts of things and getting the most out of certain players, I don't really buy it with Kellen Moore. Now, talk about Deion Sanders, I do buy it 1,000%. He elevated players around him here at the NFL. He knows how to read people. You know what I mean? He knows how to get people going, a motivator, almost like a Jimmy Johnson here, who, had a degree in psychology. Deion Sanders played with the best, learned from the best, spent time, in Atlanta, with the Atlanta Braves. He spent time with San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, the Ravens. He has a huge breadth of experience from winning programs, top level, just soaking in, learning a lot, so that's where it's at, man. So Deion Sanders, first choice, you know what I mean? Are they going to wait until Detroit, finishes their run? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they already had a select few list here. You have to hope that, man. But like I said, don't have the highest confidence in this front office. But if you're talking about maybe something that will excite the fans, it would be Deion Sanders for me. You know what I mean? If you tell me other guys like a Cliff Kingsbury, it does nothing for me. Didn't do crap with Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? Robert Saleh, great defensive coordinator. That's his ceiling. He's not a head coach. You know what I mean? He had a bunch of talent there with the Jets. Couldn't do crap with it. Players ran over him, didn't listen to him. So I don't want that either. You know what I mean? So, and then you have the unknowns, other coordinators. Jerry's not going to do that. You know what I mean? So it's still the short list. Is still the short list in my opinion. You still got, Deion is obviously in the forefront now. I didn't mention him in my initial list, but I did a couple of months ago. If you go back and look at my video that I did about 2 months ago, I did have him in that short list along with Aaron Glenn. If it were me, I would go Deion Sanders, Aaron Glenn, Pete Carroll, John Gruden. That would be, where I would want to go. I don't want to go with coaches that didn't do good. Brian Flores, good defensive coordinator, suing the NFL. Jerry's not going to hire that guy. Count that one out. You might bring in some of these guys for Rooney Rules, this sort of thing. But Deion Sanders is the first choice. Picked up the phone to call him first. You know what I mean? So it's going to come down to money, and I think one of the deals, one of the caveats might be, and I mentioned this in my video way back in the off season, also on the Frisco report when talking about Zimmer. When there was a kind of a conspiracy at the time when I talked about what if the Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer to be the guy in place for Deion Sanders, because I don't know if you guys remember this or not, and I'll mention it again. Zimmer was a consultant and worked with Deion Sanders in Colorado. All right, so there's a working relationship there already. So if you bring back Zimmer, you have the defensive coordinator here already in place for Deion Sanders, who, trusts Mike Zimmer. It's all about trust. He trusts him. So. And they play. He coached them. He knows the player, so it's it could come full circle for these guys. Now, could this be a package deal? Like I said 2 months ago, would it be, Jerry? I'll come here, but you got to make an effort to bring in Shedeur Sanders and draft him. He needs to be our quarterback. I mentioned Dallas as being one of the places that I want him to come to. I don't want him to be in Cleveland. I don't want him to be here in the Jets. So lay a framework to get Shedeur here. All right. We're at 12. All right. There's a couple teams that Shedeur would have to pass to get to 12. I mean, he might even land right in your lap. You know what I mean? You got to really see how this plays out. But would that be one of the caveats? And if that's the case, if Jerry wants to do that, he can do that, and then move on from Dak Prescott, Oh, the trade clause. The trade clause, obviously, at this point, Dak and these dudes don't want to move on because the writing will be on the wall, Dak going to be 32, injury prone as hell. That bottom half of his body is gone. The next part is going to be the top. All right. Same career arc as Tony Romo. He's going to miss time next season. You know what I mean? So if it comes to trading him, trade him away. He peaked a couple of years ago. Cowboys bumbled another career, obviously. The injuries. He's not the same player. You know what I mean? Can't win in the playoffs. So new coach, bring in your new quarterback. It'll be the first time that the Cowboys have brought in a rookie coach who was able to draft his own quarterback since Jimmy Johnson. All right, that's ridiculous. Other franchises give their rookie coach the opportunity to bring in their own quarterback, whether it's free agency or drafting a quarterback. Not here in Dallas. You inherit whatever the hell we're going to give you. All right. So time to turn the page and do some things here different here with the Cowboys. Let's see what they end up doing, man. What do you guys think? Are you on board with bringing in Deion Sanders? Does that move the needle? Does that excite you? Or do you want somebody else in here? Let me know in the comments. Peace.
Yeah, old school, baby.